Hi, today I'm doing a video tutorial on how to crop irregular shapes. I know there's many teachers out there right now that are working really hard trying to digitize their classrooms and recreate activities that have been traditionally done in person to a virtual platform. I know one of the things that I really enjoyed doing with students while at school were things like puzzles, escape rooms, murder mysteries. I've created several of these assignments, but I've also utilized Teachers Pay Teachers to get some pre-made lessons. One of the examples is this kind of triangular puzzle piece activity. What this activity does is it gives chemical names and it also gives chemical formulas. And what students in the classroom, what they used to do is they used to cut out these pieces, rotate them, tape them down. And if they did it correctly, then they would get a triangular shape. Sometimes they have, different shapes that they make, but ultimately, if you put the pieces in the right order, your overall puzzle shape will make sense. So the problem is that even though I already prepaid for this activity, it is not set up to be distributed as a digital assignment during this remote learning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot the puzzle pieces that I'm going to want to digitize. And I'm going to open up a new slide by clicking this plus button. And if you notice, the layout already has some settings that have been pre-established that I do not want. So I'm going to click the layout button and hit blank. And then I'm going to paste the puzzle pieces in. Okay. So now that I have the image, I need to actually cut out the individual pieces. So normally, if you double click an image, many of you know that the cropping icon gets highlighted. You have these little angles around the perimeter of your image that you can drag, and it crops the image in a rectangular shape. The problem is for this activity is I don't want squares. I want triangles. So instead of keeping it as a normal crop image, right here, there's an upside down triangle that says mask image. And so when I hit drop down, I see shapes and I notice that it has an equilateral triangle that matches the shape of my puzzle pieces. If you look down here, there's also an equilateral triangle that's right side up and one that's upside down. So I'm going to click the right side up one. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the edge of the triangle to match the edge of the puzzle piece that I'm trying to cut out. I like to make it a little wider so that way the black perimeter is still visible once the cropping occurs. So that way students, if I like crop them like inconsistently, like they can still see how the pieces should fit. And then I just click out of the image and I'm left with the puzzle piece, okay? If I double click the image and I realize like I wanna cut it a little closer, all I would have to do is just drag a little bit more. So like you don't have to start from scratch, okay? All right, so now that I have my first puzzle piece, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna repaste the image. I'm gonna follow the same system. I'm gonna double click. The highlighting of the cropping image becomes illuminated. I want to hit the drop down for mask image, and now I'm going to do the upside down equilateral triangle, and I'm gonna follow the same system. I'm gonna just drag the triangle to match the puzzle piece. Okay. And once I'm satisfied, then I'm going to click out and I'm going to continue to repeat that process, okay? Then what you can do after you're done cutting out all the puzzle pieces, you can include a direction slide for what you want students to do. And students can then rotate the puzzle pieces until they're able to match the chemical formula with the chemical name. So let's say, I know this is incorrect, but let's say this essentially was the correct chemical formula or chemical name for this chemical formula. Then you would match up the pieces as like closely as possible, and then the students can start, creating their final like puzzle. They can start putting the pieces together.